Hello, everyone. My name is Magda Rafael, and I live in Curacao, where I'm conducting a research together with Eklon of the University of Leiden as an external PhD candidate. The research is about the influence of the instructional practice of teachers on the reading skills of children in Curacao. Today, I will give you an overview of the research by starting with the background of the research, the problem statement, the theoretical framework we use in the research questions, the methodology we use in the research, the methods we use in the first study, the sub-study 2, the proposed timeline, the analysis of the first study, and the relevance of the research and at the end of my presentation, I'd like to get some feedback from you uh, so I can improve the study. Maybe some of you know that in Curacao there is a high degree of class repetition and dropouts and an overall poor school outcomes, especially among students whose mother tongue is Papiamento. This low performance for many years is attributed to the use of Dutch as the language of instruction and an education system that's based on the system in the Netherlands. Due to the multilingual situation, teachers confront a very complex instruction practice. They must teach a foreign language, Dutch, as a mother tongue, while at the same time they have to teach Papiamento as a mother tongue and teach Dutch as a foreign language. To do so, they has to continuously switch between the didactics of a mother tongue and of a foreign language. They must be also sufficient in both languages to provide instructions in both languages in all lessons, while they have to consider the language levels of each student in both languages. Additional challenges for the teachers is the fact that for most of the students and the teachers, Dutch is a foreign language. And in that situation, there is also a lack of adequate teaching methods in both languages and a lack of adequate tests in both languages to monitor the learning performance of the children. To this day, at this moment, there is a lack of reliable data on reading performance. While we know in recent years have seen a decline in reading skills in many countries around the world, including in the Netherlands, but we don't know what the situation is in Curacao. It is a present issue because we already know that the learning performance in primary education is low. Despite this information, there is still a limited empirical research published on the reading skills of young children in Papiamento and Dutch, as well on the teaching practices employed by the teachers in this complex situation. This research is aimed to get a deeper understanding of the influence of the teacher's instruction on the reading skills of young children in the primary education for both Papiamento and Dutch and in both traditional and in digital environments on screen and on paper. The aim of the research is to improve the overall quality of the primary education in Curacao. As for our theoretical framework, we apply the concept of the five T's. The five T's, as described by the International Research Triangle Institute. The five T's are five core elements they have found to improve early literacy of children in post colonial low and middle income countries. The five T's are tongue, and they refer to the language policy they use in the countries. Example, the use of the the languages as instruction in the schools. The teaching refers to the way they learn children to teach in most of those countries. The text they use, just the books and the materials they use in schools, the time, the amount of time spending in the process to learn children to read, and tests that they use to monitor the learning performance, the reading performance of students. We added a sixth element, and that's why we're talking about six T's, because we added the element training of teachers, because several other researchers have has pointed out that the training is also a problem in most of the post-colonial countries. Regarding reading, we use the concept of the simple view of reading, the concept of the reading systems framework, and the different reading components as outlined by the National Reading Panel. Reading is described as a combination of the understanding of the alphabetic principle, that's the decoding, and the listening comprehension, and also the different other reading components as outlined. Like say, for example, you can see in the diagram, decoding, you see components like phonological awareness, phoneme awareness, letter knowledge in both languages then, and the word reading, etc. Um, in this research, we described reading, we described reading as the process, the ability to understand and use written language to give meaning to different types of text required in society. So not only in books but also on screen. And that's the and that must be essential to the person. Reading skills concern in our research reading on paper, so in traditional environments, but also reading on screen in digital environments. The main question in our research is, how is the instructional practice of teachers connected to the mastering of reading skills of students in kindergarten to the third grade of primary education in Curacao? We divided the main question in I'm sorry, in five sub questions. And we started in the sub study, in the first study with question two, sub study two. This question four and question five. For methodology for the whole research, we used a mixed method research design where quantitative and qualitative data are collected separately. For qualitative methods, we are using questionnaires, structured interviews, and lessons observations, video recordings. And we also use tests for the reading skills of the children. In sub-study 2, we started with a literature review about the six T's, the core elements, and we selected 15 low and middle income countries and some small, um, um, sorry, and some small islands development states. As about the timeline we proposed, we started in January with finalizing the plan of action of study subsidy 2, and in February and March we worked on the construction of the interview and the questionnaire. The for the the collection of the data will take place in the months of May and June, and afterwards we will transcribe the interviews and analyze the qualitative data we gathered. As you can see in the diagram, The data obtained from the literature about the six T's in the different countries and in Curacao are related to the information obtained from the interviews and the questionnaires in Curacao. Um, Using this information, we will give a qualitative description of the six T's in Curacao and possible interconnections, while we are looking also for possible coherence with the teacher's instructional practices and the reading skills of the students with those six T's in Curacao. As for the social relevance of the study, this research is essential for Curacao because it aims to provide a deeper understanding of the instructional practices of teachers within the post-colonial multilingual, bilingual education system and context. From, the, from a scientific point of view, the research contributes to new knowledge about the influence of teachers' instructional practice on the reading skills of young children, both in traditional and digital environments, in a bilingual or multilingual education system. It contributes also to new knowledge, we hope so, to effective ingredients of this instructional practice and new knowledge about factors that can hinder the development of reading skills of young children in countries with a post colonial, bilingual, or multilingual education system around the world. Finally, I would like to get your feedback on two aspects of the study too. First, the methodology we are using in sub-study 2, and second, some tips to improve the validity and reliability of the structured questionnaire and the semi-structured interviews we are using in sub-study 2. I thank you for your time and your support and hope to see you soon.